I see.
questions.
Read stream.
Anywhere I see us on Twitch.
Um,
Cool.
oh, I'm seeing an ad, which means I need to resub.
Oh, I'm on the Nintendo Dad's one, and so that's why I didn't see that.
I always use my own, so it when I chat, it says Laugher.
That makes sense.
All right, YouTube
Why
should
was
be
I
good.
there was oh yeah, see numbers. That way I could see numbers. Okay. That's why I was always use the Nintendo Dad's one.
Okay, I
So
think we're good.
are we good? All right, cool.
Yeah, let me make sure I have all my music. I'm not using that for music. I'm using iTunes. Okay.
No
Okay.
viewers yet on Twitch, but I'm sure people will pop on sooner or later.
I see two. It might be you and me. I don't know. All right, ready when you are.
Okay, we'll get started here. And if what I'm doing doesn't sound right, just stop me and I'll do it normal.
All right.
You'll know what I mean in just a second. 3, 2. Welcome to Nintendo Dads episode 332, recorded on July 1st, 2021. On tonight's episode, we talk a little Smash, a little Nintendo sweepstakes, and a lot of Pokemon talk, as well a little pillow talk as well. No, not pillow talk. Just a little dash of topics from the community. No hot tubs. Jesse, you know what to do. Well, I hope that doesn't throw off anybody with just us two, but this is the Nintendo Dads on July 1st, 2021, episode 332. How you doing, Jesse?
I'm doing good. I had a rough start at work, and figuring since you're kind of working with IT people and you're going to school for IT stuff, I figured you'd get a kick out of this story. So, kind of quick high level. I work for a credit card company as a systems engineer, and our application, we offset our pay-by-phones to another company. So we have 2 data centers. They have 2 data centers, and the load is split evenly between them. One of their data centers lost power.
Ouch.
The grid. They have a backup, or a diesel engine backup power, and it powered lights and it powered air conditioning, but not the server room. They apparently had multiple power strips brick in the transition process, and it took like 4 or 5 hours just to get power back up in that room. You on backup power, and I don't think as of end of business day, they weren't on the grid yet, and I don't think they will be at all today.
Oh, man. And didn't you say something about call centers too being down?
No, but with possible problems with our pay-by-phone app, again, first of the month, about 45% of our calls will be pay-by-phone calls.
Oh, yeah, yes.
So we were worried about volume.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, that would throw a wrench into things. Yeah, and that's just Thursday. Aren't you glad it wasn't like at the beginning of the week to where this is all going through the whole week?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure. Well, Monday's a federal holiday. So I think tomorrow's going to be nuts, being first Friday of the month. The 5th is a federal holiday, so probably not so much. But the 6th is going to be just as crazy because that's effectively the first Monday of the month. Those are like the busiest days of the entire month.
Well, hopefully we can make it fun today before you go back into hell tomorrow. So,
Yeah.
Well, and before, go ahead.
Yeah. So since this is all facilities problems, not necessarily system problems, our system is fine. So there's nothing for me to do other than just answer questions about what might be customer impacting if and X, Y, or Z happens. But so I was on calls for like 4 hours today, and I did like nothing.
Yeah. Right. So one of the things I wanted to share before we get started is that I got something from the Nintendo store from New York. I got
Ooh.
this Zelda hat,
I
and it's
didn't even
actually,
notice it was a Zelda hat. I just thought it was
yeah,
camo.
it's camo, but it's got a Zelda symbols there, and there's a bunch of links. Those are links. It's hard to
Oh,
tell, but you see those
I don't.
legs.
Oh, I see them now. That's funny.
Now, I didn't get this because I didn't go to New York or anything. I got this because one of our members in the community actually put a message out there saying, "Hey, I'm going to the store." It wasn't Mecha Dragon, and he's in our chat, I think. But hi out there. But and we got a few people in the chat, by the way. But it was
Yep.
actually somebody
And
else,
and, and
and
Mecca already commented about the opening music I used.
yes, I'm sure he would be one of the people to catch that one. I'm not going to say who it is because everybody knows who it is in the community because he said he was going to be there. I don't want to name names because I don't want him to get in trouble or get bombarded with, hey, if you go to the store again, get me something, So, but he knows who he is. Thanks very much. Of course, he didn't do it for free. I had to give him some money to be able to go pick this up and ship it. So, but I really love this hat. It's really cool, especially because it looks like camo from afar. But like I said, it's a bunch of links.
Yeah, you really have to get up close to it to see it.
Yes. So, all right. Well, with that, let's get into what we usually start with, and that's our news. And our news. And Jesse, our news is brought to you by normally just the Patreons.
Yeah,
but
like normal, they're brought to are brought to us by our patrons. As little as $1 a month, you have access to our Discord and monthly mayhems and all sorts of fun community to chat with all day. But for the month of July, we have an additional supporter. Let's hear it from Justin with a pre-recorded message about what's going on there.
Hey folks, what's going on? Justin Masson here. And for several months now, I have been doing these kind of fake ad reads at the beginning of the show. Kind of a bit of a poke of fun at podcasting culture and advertisements. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a time has potentially turned because recently we got invited to do an ad for our show, and I'm very selective about the ads that we read, obviously, and the companies that we work with, because I'm a believer in standing behind products, right? And if it doesn't work and I don't believe in it, we're not going to do it. But I will tell you that when this email came into our inbox, I read it and I was like, yeah, totally. And the reason being is that I'm using this product already. I've been using this product, been working with this company for over a year and a half. I've been using their products and I really, really genuinely enjoy them. And so when it came in, I was like, yes, I am all on board with this. So ladies and gentlemen, this is not a false ad read. This is an actual proper one. Ladies and gentlemen, support for Nintendo Dads is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming, champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision engineering tools for your family jewels, and Manscaped has just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. That's right, you've heard me right, 4.0. I have a version before that. I think it was like a 2.0. I'm using the 4.0 now. Wow. Let me tell you, that is significant changes, and man, I'm so excited with it as well. Join over 2 million men worldwide, just like myself, who trust Manscaped. With their exclusive offer to you, our listeners, get 20% off and free worldwide shipping. I'm going to read that again. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code NINDADS, 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 at manscaped.com. One of the biggest reasons that I'm a fan of Manscaped is, listen, if you're doing some shaving down there, you're doing some trimming, you don't want to be nicked, you don't want to get scraped, right? That is an area you don't want to be fiddling around with. Well, Manscaped engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and incredibly comfortable grooming experience. And their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce groin accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. You can feel confident shaving down there and shaving your boys, all right? And by the way, let me just say this about grooming and manscaping. Listen, if you're using the same razor, the same trimmer on your face that you're using downstairs, that ain't right. All right, that is not. No, do not do that. That is gross, and you've been doing it wrong. You need the Manscaped 4.0 trimmer, right? You need their products. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this again. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code NINDADS at manscaping.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code NINDADS. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the right job with Manscaped.
Thank you, Justin.
I just love how the animation is helping shave you the bush on your face, apparently.
Yeah, I was kind of hiding behind it sometimes. They were crossing fingers in chat. Oh, is it going to be Manscaped? I hope it is.
Yeah, I saw that.
Someone even predicted what the code would be. He was close.
Yeah. So it is just NINDADS, right? I got that right? Code
yeah,
NINDADS. All right. That's awesome. That was a fantastic read there, Masson, in the chat.
Oh,
that's funny. He came on just to hear himself do the read. Apparently,
I bet that's the only reason why he's here. Just to make sure that I push the right buttons in the right order.
Yes. So as we started,
because if I didn't, I'd definitely hear about it.
Yes. So as we said, news is always brought to you by our Patreons, who actually we had a few come in since the last time we've been on, and I might duplicate or overlap here, but I just want to make sure we got everybody, especially in June. We got David Bulicka, who came in June 4th, Sebastian, who came in on June 17th, and then today or yesterday, Mike came in as well. So thank you all for being our newest Patreons, and thanks to all of our Patreons for always keeping our lights on and letting us do these things and getting this opportunity to do this ad for Manscaped. So, Jesse, have you had a chance to use yours yet?
I have not. It's still in this box.
I have mine out.
I've never used such a product before, so this will be new to me.
Yeah, I unfortunately it was one of those people that Justin was talking about, where I used both. I have my electric one for both up here and very carefully down there. So it'll be nice to be able to have something separately for the jewels.
So I didn't realize he was calling you out.
Yes, he called me out. So Manscaped called me out, but they also, yes, I have the wireless 4.0 and I have it all charged up and it's ready to go for this weekend. So it'll be fun to
celebrate the 4th.
Yes, I'm going to celebrate the 4th. And my wife was cracking up about it too. She thought that was pretty funny. She's like, how close are you going to get? I was like, I don't know.
So before we start, I wanted to throw out when I heard we heard the information that we're going to do this. I shared it with my family, and of all the people who were the most excited about it was the youngest daughter.
That's
I don't know why, but she was excited. I'm like, oh, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's maybe because she hears other podcasts that have Manscaped ads. So
maybe
that's kind of funny. All right. So let's start off with the first bit of news, which is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate 12.0.0 update, which is the Challenger Pack 10, which has the Kazuha Mishima from Tekken series joins the battle. So a new stage with the Mishima Dojo, which looks really cool as well, by the way. The stage starts out with destructible walls and ceilings intact, so there can be no KOs. Once they are broken, then fighters are at risk of getting KO'd. They will rebuild themselves over time. Then there's 39 new audio tracks taken from the games throughout the Tekken franchise. 8 tracks are new arrangements, and there is no victory music audio played in Kazuya when he's the winner.
Kazuya, I think.
Kazuya.
Kazuya.
And that's a first for Smash Bros. And you can get it with the pack, of course, Fighter's Pass Volume 2, or $5.99 by himself. So what do you think of that so far? We've got also Got some Mii fighters as well. In that pact.
I'm not a Smash player. I haven't had a chance to talk to my son. He's the one who plays to see what his thoughts are. He's never been a Tekken gamer either, so I don't even think he knows who this character was. I didn't know who this character was when they announced it at E3.
Yeah, Tekken was a huge one for us in the PlayStation days for me and my friends. So that was one we'd break out all the time. So that'd be cool. It'd be cool.
I remember seeing it in arcades in the '90s when it was new, when the first game was new.
Yeah,
but I never played it.
We also got a few fighters, which also means potentially, can never say never, but potentially these will not be any of prospects for the last fighter, which we got Lloyd, the sword fighter from Tales of Symphonia, Dragonborn is from Skyrim, thank you. Sword fighter as well. Dante, another sword fighter. So Dante is from Devils May Cry. Shantae is a brawler and includes a music track with that one, and they're 75 cents each. And it was released earlier this week, as well as the announcement of a Min Min amiibo to be released in 2022. That one I thought was really cool when I saw that picture come across. So
he was really careful with her.
Yeah. Especially because we're far off from getting an actual amiibo for that.
Someone in, I think, Discord or Twitter said they should just make a whole arms line of amiibo.
Yes, they should. Let me go back to these.
At least it's not a Pokemon. At least there's a small number of fighters to deal with. What's looking up?
Yes. I was just reading Masson's thing here, talking about celebrating July 4th with trimmed package and smooth balls.
Okay.
Oh boy. Fun times in the chat. All right. And with that, also Sakurai-san says the next fighter will be the last one announced later this year. So he says it'll be last one. I still think there's going to be a going away party one, essentially, after that last one.
Yeah. Well, he basically says he's been working on this game for about 10 years. If you count the work done on the 3DS and Wii U version, which this was based off of.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's a long time to work on one game.
That is a long time. That guy needs to take a long, deserved break. But unless he's really itching to do some other project that he's probably been waiting to do.
He's the type of person that doesn't take breaks. Kind of like me. If I'm on a break, I don't know what to do. I need to do something.
Yeah.
I need another project.
Yeah. Do you think he'll work on something like a sequel to one of his previous projects, or maybe a remaster of one of his previous projects?
I don't know. Maybe we'll get another Kid Icarus game after all.
Yeah. I would take either a remaster or a sequel. Either one would be great. And Artemis Joe, hey, how's it going? I got a friend of mine who's watching.
Alrighty.
Very cool. All right. And he said hi in the chat. So, all right. So next one we got is on the news items list is my Nintendo Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD Sweepstakes. I was trying to read that all in one swoop there.
Yeah.
But we've got a sweepstakes going on. If you haven't noticed, if you haven't been in your My Nintendo in a while, where you can submit an entry cost of 10 platinum points and you get up to 3 times the entry for the sweepstakes. You have until August 1st, at of course 11:59 Pacific time to enter, and the drawing will take place on or about August 4th. Now, the prizes will be 10 winners will receive a prize pack valued at $390 each, which includes a 24-inch by 14.5-inch acrylic panel art featuring portraits of the main characters from The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, Power A enhanced wireless controller featuring the Hylian crest design, Nintendo Store exclusive The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD t-shirt, and hardcover edition of The Legend of Zelda Encyclopedia published by Dark Horse. So again, if you haven't been out there, in fact, I'm going to take this link here.
I saw
Put it in our
that.
chat.
Oh, that's a good idea. I saw this in the weekly press release at the bottom after the download section, and I'm like, ooh, I need to enter. So I entered my 3 times and spent my 30 points.
Yep. I can't remember where I saw it. I can't remember if it was in our Discord or the email or whatever, but I think it was Discord. I saw it come through. Somebody posted that was posted, and I jumped on that pretty quickly too. So it's still very well may be hardcore hardcore edition of the Legend Zelda encyclopedia.
You know, I have that book. I have like the entire trilogy of Dark Horse Zelda books, and with the exception of the Hyrule Historia that had the timeline in it from 10 years ago, I haven't even opened them.
Oh yeah.
In fact, one of the books got ruined in flooding, and I bought it again to replace it. But so it's somewhere behind me in this mess. But
thankfully, you were able to rebuy it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have. What's funny is I bought the special edition of the encyclopedia, one of the encyclopedias, the gold one. It looks like the gold cartridge. And I kind of wish I didn't have that one because it doesn't match the other 2 books. Because the encyclopedia normally is just blue.
Oh yeah, I think that's still from Dark Horse, or is that a different publisher?
No, it's still Dark Horse. They just had the trilogy. They all look the same, but the encyclopedia, if I remember correctly, they had a special edition version that looked like the gold cartridge.
Okay, because the 3 I have are the green, red, and blue books.
Yes.
That go in a set.
Yep. I would go get it right now, but that would derail us too much.
So does that mean if they make a 4th one, would it be a purple book?
I hope so. That'd be cool.
Because that's the only color missing from the 4-sword.
They did make another one. Oh, that's true. They did make another book, but it doesn't go with that trilogy of books, and it's the book on the creation of Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Which is actually a really good book too. So, but that's pretty cool. I like that. That's a cool contest that they're doing. So hopefully somebody in our community gets this. That'd be cool to see. One of the 10 winners out of probably millions of people.
Yeah, maybe it'll be Bruce. He's won like 3 contests, including one of ours in the last few weeks. So.
I know, right? We're rooting for you, Bruce. All right. So we got game release. One right now that we have is KeyWe. And it comes out August 31st. I remember the name, but I don't remember what the game is.
Yeah, I don't remember. It featured little birds that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
I don't remember what it did. It was featured in a Nintendo Direct a while back, and
KeyWe is a chaotic postal puzzler starring Jeff and Deborah, 2 small Kiwi birds working in a fun and frantic mailroom. With no hands to help them, they must jump, flap, peck, and butt slam their way across an interactive landscape of levers, bells, and buttons to get those messages delivered on time.
Okay.
There.
So that now has a release date at the end of August.
There we go. And with that, we go into some Pokemon Go updates.
And so since Justin isn't here to stop me, I can talk for more than a minute on it.
Well, he actually told me to time you. He told me to get a timer ready. No, I'm kidding. He did not. Go ahead. You're good.
So actually, this is new Pokemon news, separate from events, which will be later. It was announced probably 2 weeks ago now. So this was in the notes for last week, but we didn't have a show last week. At the end of July, trainers from the U.S. and New Zealand will get updates to undo many of the pandemic-driven updates to make the game that made the game more playable for people from home or from safer distances. So there's what's getting reverted is in order to get Pokemon to spawn from an incense, trainers must be moving. Buddy Pokemon will deliver fewer gifts, and distances to reach Pokestops and gyms will return to normal. What will continue? Incense times will remain at 60 minutes. No walking requirements for Go Battle League. And the increase in gift amounts. So you can store up to 20 instead of 10, and you can open up to 30 per day instead of 20. Increase Stardust and experience at the start of each day. See, I didn't even know about that one, but apparently we're keeping it. What's getting added? To encourage exploration, trainers will receive up to 2 free raid passes per day from spinning gym photo discs. Today, it's only 1 per day. Guaranteed gifts to give to friends when spinning Pokestops, as long as you do not already have the maximum amount that you can store in your inventory. And you receive 10 times XP bonus for spinning a Pokestop for the first time. So when this goes live, I'll be able to, explore areas of the city I normally don't go to, try to get that extra XP.
I should let my daughter know about this because she said she re-downloaded this. She's been on this Pokemon kick lately, so she actually beat Shield, and we'll talk about this later. But it had me re-download it as well. So, but she also downloaded this, and I may be reaching out to you and asking questions like, "Okay, what do I do again with this?"
Sure. Okay. And so the U.S. and did I say New Zealand? So it's already scrolled off. Yeah, U.S. and New Zealand will be the pilots of the changes, and the plans to be rolled out worldwide later this year.
Nice. Yeah, and I got her to re-download Home, and I re-downloaded Home as well. So I'll probably have to download.
I never used Home. Well,
Yeah.
I lied. I never used Home until I wanted the Meltan box.
Okay.
Because when they added the ability to get a Meltan box when you send a Pokemon from Go into Home, then I installed it, but I literally only have like 3 Pokemon in it because I got boxes for each one.
Yes. Nice. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm diving back into Pokemon. So
Speaking
I'm
of
way
Bruce, he's
behind.
in the chat asking if there's only 2 of us.
No, don't you see Marty and Justin here? Hey Marty, hey Justin, say hi. See? See, they said hi.
I almost said a joke, but no, I can't say that because it'd be a spoiler for later. But
Yes, don't spoil it. I'm not done yet.
It would have been a DZLC joke, but I'll leave that one alone.
Okay. You'll have to write it down so you can share it with me later when I'm done with the game.
I'll try to remember. Okay. Okay. So next up we have events. I think we confused Bruce with that little sidestep conversation. Anyway, so some Pokemon events coming up for Pokemon Go. July 3rd, this weekend, will be the Tepig Community Day from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. local time. We've already talked a bit about Pokemon Go Fest, scheduled for 17th and 18th. There was details about day 1 about a month ago, 2 ago, but there was very little information about the 18th. We now have information on it. It'll be a big raid day. Legendary Pokemon will be appearing globally in 5-star raids. There'll be 4 hours in rotation that change what's in raids. So during the wind hours, 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. hours, there'll be Mewtwo, Ho-Oh, Latias, Latios, Regigigas, Altered Form Giratina, Cresselia, Virizion, and Thurnian Form Tornadus will be appearing in raids. During the lava hours, 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock, will be Moltres, Entei, Regirock, Groudon, Heatran, Reshiram, Terrakion, Therian Form Landorus, and Yveltal. That's the one that catches me. During the frost hours, noon and 4, will be Articuno, Suicune, Lugia, Regice, Kyogre, Palkia, and Curium. Plus, Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf will appearing in 5-star raids in the regions they normally appear in. So that one, I'm definitely wanting to get some remote invites from Europe and Asia to try to get the 2 I don't have yet. And then during the thunder hours, 1 p.m. and 5 p.m., there'll be Zapdos, Raikou, Registeel, Rayquaza, Dialga, Cobalion. I don't even know what that one is. I'll have to look it up. Thurnian Form Thundurus, Zekrom, and Xerneas. In addition, trainers with GoFest tickets will earn extra benefits. An extra 10,000 XP for winning a raid. That's effectively doubled. And so if you have a lucky egg running, you get 40,000 per raid. That is insane. You can get up to 10 raid passes per day during the event for non-remote. That's actually going to the gyms and raiding there. You can complete timed research to earn up to 8 remote raid passes, and there'll be a discounted bundle of 3 remote raid passes that'll be available to purchase.
Wow. So that's a whole weekend thing, right? So
yeah, that's all one day.
That's day 2. Yeah.
This is all day 2. Day 1 will be a different set of events.
Right.
We've talked about them before.
Right. That's crazy.
And then it's $5 for a ticket that'll give you access to events on both days. But things
Nice.
like things that are affecting wild spawns and raids, anyone can participate. But the things that you need a ticket for, if you don't have a ticket, you won't have access to them.
Okay.
And then finally, go ahead.
I was going to say, which this also gives a warning to anybody else who doesn't play Pokemon Go to watch out for people walking around in their neighborhoods and their parks and all that kind of stuff in case they're trying to catch stuff.
Right. So, yeah. So, with the pandemic changes, I think it was safer. They made it so you can do things from in your car or from your home. So a lot of that still may be going on. But
Okay.
again, with that Sunday being a big raid day, there probably will be a lot of people out and about.
Yeah.
Okay. And then finally, the 5-star raids announced for July. Today was Bidoof Day.
Bless you.
So you're welcome. So they had Bidoof in all raids, 1-star, 3-star, and 5-star. It was weird. But when that ended at 8 o'clock tonight, Defense Form Deoxys will be in raids until July 16th at 10 a.m. Follow that with Mewtwo will return in raids, with the exception of the 18th that we previously talked about, until July 23rd at 10 a.m. And after that, the Pokemon that'll be in raids will yet to be announced.
Sorry, you just reminded me of something. I need to find my my Pokeball. Figure out what I did with that thing.
Oh, like the controller that was
The
released
controller
with the
one,
Let's Go
yeah.
game? Yeah, I still use those. I have them in my car.
Yes, I need to figure out. It should be in my controller box here, but I'll have to look for that later. It wasn't visible.
Nice.
But yeah, you just remind me of that.
Okay. Did you have any other Pokemon questions before we move on?
Not yet. Mine will come as I'm doing the things. So
Okay, that sounds good. All right, so let's talk about what we've been playing.
I forgot
Bruce
to check
asks-
chat.
Bruce
Yes.
asks, "What is the hairiest Pokemon?"
Yes.
Now I'm trying to think of what his name is, but he's. Dang it! I need to look it up. But the one I'm thinking of is basically looks like a big ape that's laying down and lazy. Give me a moment and I can find it. It's a slacking. Like he's lazy, so he's slacking.
Well, while you're looking that up, Quags ask, we need or suggest we should have a what your kids have been playing section as well, and that's not a bad idea. Although for Jesse, that might be a little bit. Well, I don't know if you talk to your kids still, so they might tell you what they're playing anyways, like Link tells you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I know he's been playing the game that we've been playing, in addition to other things.
Yes. So, yep. And then sometimes I do talk about what Sam's been playing, especially if he's played with me. But if he hasn't and he's off doing his games with his sister or something, especially being summertime and off from school, then I don't usually bring that up. But that is a good idea. Have to keep that in mind. So did you find the one the hairiest one?
Well, I'm not sure if it really is, but slacking was the one I was thinking of.
Okay. Gotcha. And then Ninfrendo says Beardamon and Beardadon. Made up Pokemon.
or they're Digimon, one of the two.
That's true. Very true. And what I see the code for the manscaping thing has come up a couple times. Now, what is it again? Just to make sure that I'm typing it right.
NINDADS. NINDADS.
It is NINDADS, right? Because
Yes.
I saw somebody say often dads. So not sure if that's right or not.
Yeah, I didn't put anything at the bottom of the show during closer. We should probably add that so we are kind of bring it up at the closer, but we can do that later. I think we've talked about that quite a bit during the show. I think people are already getting sick of hearing it.
Right. Well, I just wanted to make sure it's like they got the right code. So
right. Yeah, you don't want to give them the wrong code and then not get their 20% off and free shipping.
Yes, it's true. All right, Jesse, go ahead. What have you been playing?
All right. Since it's been 2 weeks since our last show, I have a few things here. The first one I want to talk about is PowerWash Simulator. Kind of did it as a joke stream on Father's Day. That game's actually pretty fun.
Oh yeah,
it gets you into a zen state. It relaxed my brain like Picross does.
Nice.
Of which there's a new Picross game coming out tomorrow by a TUI. That'll be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, it starts you off with this mucked up truck was thrown in your garage, which happens to have power wash equipment in it. So you use it to clean it, and then you basically use it to start your own business. So you got a friend who's like advertising for you and finding jobs for you. And so I think on stream I did the truck and then one other job. I don't remember what that other job was. It was at a remote location. And then every time I finished a job, you kind of get another smaller in-garage job and then another remote job. I've done I think I'm on the 4th remote job. I think there's 5 total. And this game is still in early access. So it might expand in the future. But nice. Yeah, I don't remember what I paid for it. I think it might have been $20. It wasn't too expensive, so that's why. Marty originally wanted to play it, but they didn't have a Mac version. Well, I said, I'll do it. That sounds like I'll have fun. And in fact, during the calls today, I actually loaded this up and played a little bit of it to kind of calm my mind down from all the excitement of being on those fired, asbestos-filled calls today.
Nice.
Anyway, and they have like various nozzles. So you can have like a wide spray that has a lower power, which will get rid of like most of the stuff. But if anything's like really gunked in, you're gonna have to narrow the beam to have a more solid spray pressure to get it off. You're able to buy like soap attachments and different soaps that help clean specific surfaces. I tried a few of them, but they don't last very long, and it gets to be kind of expensive. It's all in-game currency; it's not real money. But still, I'd just rather not use them and spend the extra time just hosing down the spots. Anyway, so then I on the last show I had played Metroid Fusion and started playing Samus Returns. I had finished Samus Returns, and like most Metroid's games, those last 2 or 3 boss fights are awful, but I still like the game.
Yeah.
Like that in the last fight, I think I got there on Wednesday. Couldn't beat it Wednesday, couldn't beat it Thursday, finally beat it in like my 3rd run on Friday. And I can only do like 3 or 4, maybe 5 runs at a time because my hands started cramping up.
I was going to say, was that the one that your hands were hurting in?
Yeah, because I'm playing this on a 3DS.
Yeah.
Which is
Do you have a grip on your? Do you have a
I
grip
don't have
on
a grip.
That? Okay.
I probably should. I probably needed one. I've never felt like I needed the grip on a 3DS before. But
so you play those longer games.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I played Dragon Quest on them, and and they're fine.
But they're not as intense, though, right?
They're not as.
Where you're probably clenching a little harder, trying to.
Yeah, especially for like 2 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so I had fun, so I decided to play Zero Mission on the Wii U, and I got that done and knocked that out in a day. And in fact, my playtime on that was like 3 hours 20, 3 hours 17, something like that. And of the 3 save states on the game, that one is the quickest. I definitely wasn't trying to speedrun it, and there was parts I got stuck and kind of hung around a while. But still, that was the fastest run I had. In fact, like the middle run had the longest time and didn't even finish the game. I got stopped right near the end. But so I played Zero Mission. I recently, and earlier this week, I decided to remod my Wii. I got a new external hard drive and started loading up games on it again.
Okay.
On
the Wii?
On my Wii.
Okay.
Yeah, not the Wii U, but the original Wii.
Gotcha. That's right. That's right, because you posted something about pulling your Wii out. I remember that now.
Right. And everything I said in that statement was using proper terms and grammar and everything, and I still got picked on for sounding dirty. I'm like,
yes,
that's a you problem, not me.
That's because everybody's mind is in the gutter. That's just the way it is, you know.
Anyway, so I'll probably, like, if I get another game drought, I'll probably play Other M again.
Okay.
It's been a while since I played that, since it's effectively like 3.5.
Ebisode's asking if you're interested in playing Federation Force.
Not at all.
There's actually a few of us in the community who are interested in possibly getting together, like 4 of us to get together to try to play that.
I talked about playing these Metroid games in the Discord, and someone asked, "What about Metroid Prime?" And I responded, "Hell no."
Yeah.
Because I can't play those games. Last time I tried playing Prime 1, I got nauseous. I cannot play those.
Have you tried the bracelets to try games with that?
But I just don't like first-person shooters.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. I like them all. Give me all the Metroids.
Okay. A game I picked up, I think it was released 2 weeks ago, and I played it earlier this week. It's called 7 Years From Now. It's not really a game. It's like an interactive story. You literally have no choices. There's no options, no trees, no paths. Okay. It's just, you do walk around the city, and you have to go into the right place and talk to the right people to continue the story. That's really all the agency you have. But I like the story. If you
so the
like
story's engaging.
Yeah, it's set in Japan. It's very anime. It's the graphics art style is like voxel, so like 8-bit graphics, but expanded to 3D.
Okay.
So if you're not a fan of voxel art, you probably won't like it. But like the story, if you liked the story of World's End Club, you'd probably like the story of this.
Oh, okay.
And you roll credits in like 3 or 4 hours, but then after that it opens up, and at the end I'm thinking, oh, that's it, I want to know what happens after that. And it opens up extra stories, so it tells you what happens after that, which is like another 2 or 3 hours.
Okay.
So I don't remember what I paid for that. It wasn't too expensive, but I liked that. And if you like anime time travel stories, I
do. Especially after playing World's End Club, I do like that.
I think you'd like this one, and it's it can be played in 2 or 3 sessions if you have if you're able to sit into a session that long.
It says it's on the Switch, Android, Windows, and iOS, so multiple places to be able to play.
Okay. Yeah, I played it on the Switch.
Okay.
And
Steam.
Oh yeah, everything's on Steam, just like Final Fantasy games. Of which, did you see?
Don't bring that up again.
Steam has posted the slots for the 6 Final Fantasy games, put prices on the first 3 of them. They'll release by the end of next month. You can buy them separately, or they have a bundle. You'll get all 6 when they're released.
Nice.
The bundle is $75, and that's a discounted price of. I think I did the math, and the normal price would have been like $96.
Okay.
So, I don't know how to buy any of these, because if I really wanted to play them, I can hook up my Vita or my PlayStation TV or play it on my Vita, or I have 5 on the GBA. So I've got other ways to play.
You have ways to play it.
So I'm
Gotcha.
probably not going to go out of my way just to buy the PC version. Of course, if it was on the Switch, I would buy them.
Of course.
Whether I play them or not, I don't know, but I would buy them.
Well, knowing that how much these cost, do you think they would split up the collection and be like 1 through 3 and then 4 through 6?
I don't think they'll do them as sub collections.
You don't think so? They'll
At
still
least
sell
they. Yeah,
separately.
yeah. That's the. Well,
You don't think
I
they'll do
didn't
a physical collection?
no.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if they come to Switch, you mean?
Yeah, if they were to come to Switch, do you think they would do a physical collection
I think.
or collections?
I don't know. They might do it on a cart, but since each one's its own separate purchase, they probably wouldn't put them on a cart.
Okay.
And then they're able to update them each separately. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, I still want to see them on Switch, but
Maybe that's why they didn't come out for the Switch. Maybe they're getting them out on these platforms so they can get those
yeah,
bugs out of there.
I guess we'll find out after they release 4, 5, and 6,
Yes.
which still doesn't have a release date yet. Okay, so I did start Mario Golf Super Rush. I'm maybe halfway through the story mode. You've also got it marked down as the game you're playing.
I have not gotten that far whatsoever. I just got into the practice mode in the story mode. Just right at the beginning, like when I walk in and can start taking my first swings.
Okay.
That's the only as far as I got.
And so the cross country mode, I do not like that mode, and I think everyone who was talking about it in Discord agrees. I don't know if there was anyone who really liked it.
Yeah, I read that too.
And I got to the point where I was almost ready to quit because of that mode. And I changed my strategy up, and it did work. You really have to think about the order of the holes.
Yeah, I think that's what I heard too.
Yeah. For those who don't know what cross country mode is, like it gives you a map, and you have, say it gives you 6 holes, you have to sink it in. The order can be any order you want, as long as you do them all within a set number of strokes, like 30 strokes. And when you do sink a putt, you basically just, move the ball to the nearest fairway to that green, and then you just go from there. You don't start over at a tee. You just keep going from where you left off.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and the main issue with that one is there's multiple elevation points.
Yeah.
And they have these little tornadoes that help you you shoot the ball into it, it'll shoot the ball up. And then if you walk into it, you'll get thrown up. So, yeah, not that, but that's how you traverse.
Okay.
And I just kept on hitting it at the wrong angle because, of course, now I know how curves work. If I didn't know quite how curves worked back then, that would have helped.
Okay.
And so basically,
I know what to look out for when I get to that point.
Basically, my strategy was go for the one at the highest elevation first, and if I screw it up, I can just restart the course and I don't lose a lot of progress. Where before, I'd try it last, and if I have to quit or fail, then I have to do the first 5 holes again. But once I get that first hole out of the way, going to the lower elevation holes is a lot faster because
Gotcha.
Gravity helps.
Yes. Nice.
Anyway, so that's the game I'll continue playing. Before I get to the last game, why don't you go with what your games, and since you've also played the last game on my list,
Okay.
and then we'll talk about that one at the end.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So I haven't been playing much, even though I wrote down quite a few. It's actually, I didn't get started until late, even though we had a week off essentially. But it's been busy. If everybody knows my story, we're trying to get things ready for helping my mom move out of her house, sell her house, get her temporarily in our house so that we can then close out that house sale and then move her into a new house. So lots going on. Originally, we thought we were actually going to move in with my mom and I was going to move all of this, but it's been crazy. So thankfully, I don't have to move. I still have to move all of this, but thankfully, I don't have to move houses for my family. So, but with that, I've been able to squeeze in a little bit of gaming time. Pokemon Shield actually being one of them. I thought I was done playing that. I actually sold off the physical copy that I had because we had four copies of Pokemon, two of each, the Shield and Sword, and I had one for myself and one for my wife, and neither of us were playing it, so I sold it, and my kids were playing theirs. So, I decided to. I had it downloaded copy, so I still had it, but I just took it off my Switch. But my daughter started playing it, just unbeknownst to me, and then just recently she was like, "Hey, Dad, are you still playing Pokemon?" And I said no. And she's like 65 hours in. And I think she's actually beaten the game now at this point, but she's been 65 hours in and gotten a lot of Pokemon. She's been into trading and all that kind of stuff. And so she was asking if I had it so she could trade some things with me. So I re-downloaded it and started
That's a
playing a
game I
little
didn't
bit.
get into. I think it's like 2 or 3 gyms in, and when I fell off.
Yeah. So I just luckily I still had my same files, so I didn't have to totally restart because I still had my team that I had created from the very beginning. And I just got through the stadium part, so the beginning of the event in that game. So I don't know how far I'm going to get. It's not going to be primary game for me. I'm just kind of playing it to do some trades with my daughter and kind of so I can talk to her about it and we have something to talk about. So we'll see how far that takes me. But for now, that's where I'm at, and that's where I've been playing it. And she just bought the expansion pass, so she's going to be diving into those as well. So I'll get a perspective of that from her as soon. I guess that's kind of like her summer game right now, even though she's already kind of beaten it with not even June or just starting in July. Mario Golf Super Rush, as I said when you were talking about it, Jesse, I just started that as well with doing the story mode. Again, not a lot of time, but I got my me character set up and I just walked into the practice session and then I turned it off.
That one has 6 courses, right? Or is it just 5?
Practice,
or courses,
or the story mode.
And, yeah. No, I think I'm in the second to last course.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even know how many courses yet because I haven't even seen that part yet. It's just been a lot of talking right now, getting through that part, and I just walked up to the practice area and then going from there. And I just started that after I beat the next game I'm talking about, which is World's End Club. I beat that game recently. Jesse, I know you beat that a while ago. But I finally beat that one. I love how the story is in that game. And this being kind of, I guess, my first type of game like this was a lot of it was a surprise for me for playing a lot of this type of game. So it was very exciting to play. Although I will say this is that there's a lot of less playing elements than I expected, more story elements. But I guess that's the kind of game that this is. So usual games like this. But the story was what kept me going. And so the part that I liked about it, especially in the demo, was some of the platforming elements and the gaming elements of that, more action oriented than RPG oriented. So I liked it because it was very just straightforward action gameplay, but it was more, again, story heavy. So it was a lot of listening. It is all voiceover, right, Jesse? I believe. I don't think there was any reading. I mean,
Yeah,
everything has got subtitles.
Everything was voiced.
Everything was voiced, so that was nice and stuff. But
yeah, I knew at the end of playing the demo that, and the way, gave you a little preview of the end before the game started.
Yeah.
So, in order to get from point A to point X, I figured that the gameplay was not going to be the same as the demo. It was going to be, they took the basic elements and continued on with that and expanded on it. but the actual, at least the what do they call it? The game that they were playing. I don't forget the name.
In the demo.
Yeah, in
In
the
the demo
first
of the
act.
game. Yeah, the game they were playing the Fate game.
The Fate game. Yeah, so I figured that there wouldn't be anything similar to Fate game throughout the rest of the game, or most
Right.
of the rest of the game. So I was not caught off guard when it wasn't. But for those probably like you or other people who aren't familiar with those type of games, they probably were hoping for more of the same, and it didn't give the same.
Right. Well, it wasn't more of, I figured the story would go somewhere different, and it felt like it went like 3 different ways, different but still all intertwined with each other.
And sometimes literally.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but it was so fun to experience this without giving too much away, because I would love to see if other people have the same type of experience. But the best part of it is being able to play the game, choosing your path that you're going to go, because you have routes you can go throughout the game, and then making your choices towards the end. And of course, the end is what's going to make it fun. So again, right. I'm trying not to give away too much.
And,
so
I remember after playing the demo, I had a lot of questions, and that was weird. And all of that does get resolved by the end.
Yes.
Kind of very satisfyingly.
Yeah. So again, it was a very fun game to play because of it more of, again, I'm saying game and play and I don't want to say that too much because there isn't a lot of gameplay.
There's more gameplay in this game than 7 years from now.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So give that as an example.
I wish I didn't even explain what the plot was, but I'll get to that. I'll go back to that after you're done.
Okay. So I put it this way, where in some games where there's a lot of gameplay and then you have your story breaks, this is story with gameplay breaks.
Yes. Yes.
So, but that's what I liked. Again, the story was what was keeping me intrigued. It was like listening to audiobook and then mixing in with some gameplay, so.
And at least it didn't surprise you with the game differences, because it gives you a timeline with nodes, and
yes.
Based on the node what type of play will be coming.
Yes, because that you're going to be doing a story or an act, and the acts are the ones that have the action. And then what was the third one? There's story, acts, or is it just those two? Camp, yes, the camp one. Yep. So, and camp is where you talk to all the people who's with you at the camp. So.
Yeah, it's like story, but kind of optional. I don't think you can completely skip them and not really pick up anything new. It's just
true
lore building.
Yep. So again, it was like listening to audiobook with some occasional gameplay. So in between, but I had a lot of fun with it and I really enjoyed it. So what was the 7 years from now?
Okay, so 7 years from now, I wanted to bring up that one. There is no voice acting. You do have to read everything, but
okay.
The game starts off with you having a flashback, making a promise to someone who is off camera, so you don't know who he or she is, saying, "We need to come back here in 7 years from now. On this day, April 1st, 7 years from now." And then you wake up to current time, and you're with your dad and a stepmom, or the other way around, who going back to the city where you grew up in, where you spent most of your time in a hospital, and had all your friends were other patients, the kids in the hospital, for reasons you don't know yet. You learn throughout the course of the story, and so then you'll figure out who are you trying to meet 7 years from now, why. And it's kind of like Breath of the Wild storytelling. Most of the story is past than present, but it still is a good story, and I liked it.
Cool. Yep, I got it off to the side to look at later when we're done. All right, cool. And speaking of no voiceovers, but mainly just reading, Doki Doki Literature Club Plus I've been playing that. That's what actually took me away from Mario Golf Super Rush. Even though I just got it started, because like I beat World's End Club, then I was like looking for stuff to play, but when I during my downtimes, and then I was like, okay, I'll play Mario Golf. I'll get that. I started playing that, and then actually Doki Doki wasn't the main thing that took it away. It was also Pokemon Shield. My daughter asked me to download that, so it was like I started Mario Golf, then got pulled away to do Pokemon Shield, and then Doki Doki came out, and I was like, I got to play Doki Doki Literature Club Plus, and I'm probably 2 hours in, I'm guessing. So, and Jesse, you've played this before years ago, and you've played through the first story, as you said before, and now into a second playthrough, or probably even a third or fourth.
So I won't get into details because pretty much any detail is spoilery. But yesterday, a game released yesterday. So I played through the entire game to credit roll in about 4 hours. Of course, I knowing how to win. Part of the game is figuring out how to win when you get to that point.
Yep.
So, what you had to do in the original game couldn't be done in a console, but they found a way to make it work. And again, I'm not going to explain it because I've seen other people play this on YouTube, and they didn't even notice it until they were in the end game. Where I noticed it before I even started. So what they were doing. So after I finished the game, rolled credits again. I'll say this. Even though if you think the game's over, it's not until you see a credit roll. When you see a credits roll, then it is over.
Okay.
So I played the credits, then started a new game, and from what I remembered from the original game 4 years ago, there are alternate endings that you do if you do certain things in specific orders. And again, I can't get into any more details than that. But one you trigger right at the start of the game, and I triggered it. And doing that actually does unlock some of the photos in the photo gallery. I don't know if you've found that yet.
Yes, I did. I found the computer, and been on the computer playing around with that stuff.
Yeah. So since you know about it, I'll talk about it a little bit. Basically, it gives you a fake computer virtual machine,
which is really cool, by the way. It's like fourth wall type stuff there.
Yeah. Anyway, so then so you do something at the very beginning of the game to trigger it, and then there's like a super ending that I'm currently working my way on. So I'm almost done with what I need to do in Act 1 to get to that ending. And I'll hopefully, if they do, I'll find out if it actually does something when I get to the end. It'll probably be tomorrow. I was hoping to get it done today, but my wife wanted to go out for dinner, so I didn't get a chance to finish it. I think I'm about an hour out. And one thing that does help is if you get into a story bit that you've already seen before, you're able to do a skip and it does a big fast forward through it, so you don't have to read everything over and over again.
Yeah. Well, and what's funny is what's her name, the main lead, the president of the club, Monica, yes. It was funny, one of the things she said during the thing was talking about saving at certain points, and it was like, why am I saying this? It doesn't make any sense, but I thought I should say it. I thought that's pretty funny. But yeah, I've been trying to save at certain points where I feel like I'm going to have to make a choice. So I've been saving right before those. So
that's what it wants you to do.
Yeah. Yep. So.
And there's a reason for it.
Yeah. So right now, again, I'm playing through this is my first playthrough. I've only gotten a couple hours through. And again, this game is everything. Like I told Jesse and the other guys about this in the group, was like the trailer throws you off. It's like what you visually seeing and what you're reading as well in regards to not playing it in front of kids and all that kind of stuff, and it's a thriller. But
Tim
you're
hasn't
seeing
gotten to that point yet.
I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I'm this all this pop bubblegum stuff going on and this happy go lucky type stuff. It's like,
but when he sees it, he'll know it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see his reaction to it.
So yeah, it's very cool. And again, this is why I really like World End Club, because it was different stuff that I've never experienced before, especially with I'll say Avengers type stuff going on there, as far as end game, timeline type stuff going on there. So
and my son, apparently this version is also on Steam. Apparently it had a problem. Like Bijou Mike tried to buy it and couldn't. My son tried to buy it on Steam and couldn't. So, Bijou Mike bought it on Switch. My son bought it on PS4. And so PS4 has trophies.
Oh,
he was wanting to platinum this one.
Okay.
And it will require him to unlock all of the photos, all of the poems.
Okay.
He's got to take every path. It will require multiple playthroughs.
I could see that. That would probably be my motivation too, if I had this on the PS4. Definitely. Cool. Any last any news you want to say in regards to Doki Doki Literature Club Plus?
Well, Mecca's asked what was the problem with Steam. I don't know. It's just the game wouldn't physically download, apparently. Or my son put it in his cart and then it was taken out of his cart. So I don't know if something's wrong with the Steam port or not. But the way this game is set up, it plays just as well on anything. The original game was done in Ren'Py, which is kind of like a visual novel. It's like RPG Maker for visual novels.
Okay.
It's so it's like a scripting language in a way. This version of the game has been rewritten from the bottom up in, I think they said, Unity.
Yeah.
So
I think that's what I saw.
The tricks that you did in Windows doesn't work anymore. You have to do it through the virtual machine that we talked about.
Yes, which is still very cool to me. I like that. I like little things like that. All right. So with that, before we move on to the community spotlight, because we have a lot of questions, a lot of comments from our community, and I did grab a few that were in the chat as well. One thing I wanted to point out that I have on deck that came to me out of the blue that I saw was that I have on deck to play is Lego Builder's Journey. I don't know if you've heard of this, Jesse, but it's a Lego game, but it's called Builder's Journey, and it kind of reminded me of Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, how that looks with the isometric view, but this is all built with Legos. So it says it takes place in a Lego brick world brought to life with most accurately rendered Lego elements yet to feature on screens. Breathtaking world filled with brick by brick effects, accompanied by beautiful soundtrack. It's a puzzle game basically that you use the bricks to basically follow the instructions to get through, I guess, a path, or you can break the rules of the instructions to try to make the same path. So again,
one of those games.
Yeah, so I just downloaded it, so I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen yet, but I'm hoping to maybe, if I can find some time, maybe I'll stream it over the weekend or something. This is one I just picked up on my own too, because I didn't, like I said, it just came out of nowhere. I saw it and it looked very interesting and cool, so I figured I'd pick it up.
All right, so since you said a future game, I'll bring up one that it was announced. I think it was announced I guess it was announced last night. Rainy Frog, who publishes like the pixel games.
yeah.
Pixel Cross, Pixel Lines, like those.
Yes.
And most recently Pixel Cells, which I didn't like, is releasing a game soon called Pixel Puzzle and Watch Collection, which it looks like it's a game for the Switch, but it looks like it will be like Game & Watch games, like LCD type of stuff, that does pixel line, pixel cross, and something else.
Yeah, that was a very
type,
confusing
type of gameplay. So
trailer.
that one is definitely one I'm gonna check out. If
It was deceiving.
If I get a review code, I'll do a video on it.
Cool.
But that kind of looks interesting.
Yeah, it was very deceiving in the fact that if it didn't start off with the Switch logo, that you would think they were going to be selling actual Game & Watch.
I had to start the video over to double check that it had a Switch logo on it. And I'm like, yep,
Yeah.
it does. And then I looked at the press on the game info page, which is in Japanese, and it says Nintendo Switch as a platform. So
Very cool.
That's a weird game.
I can't wait to see what it looks like. All right, Jesse, let's jump into the community spotlight. All right, here we go. We've got a few email questions, a couple from our chat that I tried to grab, trying to keep an eye on. And it looks like we got one to end it off with from our Discord community. So we've got first email from Brandon Hallworth. I was recently thinking about the rumored Switch Pro. People talk about it getting exclusive titles, but I have a counter argument. The climate has changed. Let's keep in mind how extraordinarily easily scalper culture made it to acquire a Switch, PS5, and Xbox Series X at launch. There's no reason to believe a Switch Pro wouldn't come just as easy. If Breath of the Wild 2 is a Pro exclusive, imagine how many people would be able to play it after paying $1,000 to a scalper for a Switch Pro. I feel Nintendo would pause before making a Switch Pro exclusive.
Yeah, my thoughts are Nintendo will not do that. Any Nintendo published game will work on both. It may work better on the Pro, but it'll work better on both. If anyone does make a Pro only game, it'll be a third party.
Yeah,
just because,
and I don't think that will come until later if they're smart and if they do it anything like
say Activision decides they want to put Call of Duty back on Nintendo systems, they probably will be Pro only because it has the horsepower needed that the Switch won't be able to have.
Good point. Yeah, and hopefully Nintendo's been working on learning responsive coding so that they can do that type of thing where the game is responsive to the device it's on.
Yeah, like looking at 3DS versus new 3DS, like games like Codename Steam was like the epic example of you want to play this on a new. You can do it on the old, but you want to play it on the new.
Yes. Yep. Good game, by the way. Underrated, I believe. So it's a good game.
I remember Zach liking that the most, and I wasn't for me.
Right. Yep. It isn't. And I think it's probably just because of the quirkiness. I liked it. It was different. So, okay. On to Mecha Dragon's question from his email. What games do you dads think future generations of gamers need to at least play? For example, there's tons of games on the SNES like Super Mario World that I think kids in the future should play and experience in order to get an appreciation of the games we have today.
That's a good question. I probably had a question like this a while back, and I think the answer has probably evolved over the years.
Yeah.
Like I think less and less NES games would qualify just because they just don't hold up. Like N64 games, a lot of them don't hold up. But again, I think like Dragon Quest III, I think would be a good example of a game that should be played. Should you play the NES version? Probably not. There are better versions out there, and there will be a great version coming out next year.
Yes.
Or later this year. I forget when they said the window was.
Yeah. I think that for me, it's probably gauge it on the kids' interest or future gamers' interest in games. So it's going to be like, if they're interested in a specific genre, then of course, give them a few games that lead up to maybe showing them the design, how it evolved from a certain point to now, or depending on if they're really into games and maybe want to be a developer themselves or whatever, also give them that history lesson, if you will. I guess I'm trying to think of, like, he brought up Super Mario World on this SNES. And I think that showing how Super Mario Brothers evolved from the NES through its three versions, one, two, and three, even the difference between the Japanese version and the US version, and then going to when it came over to Super Mario World. I think again, it's like, okay, if you got a generation of gamers who are into platformers, show them that how that evolved. And even if they don't finish it, maybe it's something they go and test out, especially with them being available, say in this example again, Super Mario Brothers being available on the Switch. If they have a Switch, they can go and play on the NSO library of games up to that point, so they can get a feel for that.
Yeah, I think in a lot of cases you don't want to necessarily start them with game one of a franchise,
Right.
because again, they have a lot of mechanics that are obsolete. But if say someone likes a new Kirby game, then yeah, have them try the old Kirby games and say this is how the franchise started, and it
Yep.
evolved to where we're at now. Same with Mario. Mario One, you know, probably not a good game to start with, but if they liked three or
Right.
World, then yeah, have them try one. It's still good game that holds up, but there
Right.
are just better games out there.
And it is harder to go back to the first games because of how much um improvements they made over the years. So if you go back to it, like for me, I started off with the Metroid Prime and Metroid Fusion games and went backwards from there. Well, I did play Metroid 2 on my Game Boy, but again, still, I didn't complete that as much as I did Fusion. I completed Fusion, then I tried to go back to those, Super Metroid and even Metroid, and even Super Metroid had some quality of life things that, or
Yeah,
didn't have those quality of life things
I
that
kind of
Fusion did.
probably not going to play Super Metroid again unless they do a remake on it, just because
Right,
of the quality of life improvements that they did do with Fusion and Zero Mission
right.
aren't in Super and kind of need it. But again, it's still, some people say it's still one of the best games ever without them,
Yes,
and don't
and
want to see it remade for that reason.
foundationally, I think it is a very, very good game for the Metroid list of games.
Yeah.
So, but
I might launch it and play the first hour or two again, but I remember I always have problems at the end, and I need to use a walkthrough to finish it.
yeah,
Where if it had a better mapping system like in other future games, I might not have that problem.
right. And that's where I think people also said that, the good old pencil and paper type of thing, right? Or a book.
Right.
So, but yes. So, but yeah, going back to the question at hand, it was basically never try to force it on anybody. If there's some interest there, just recommend it. Say, hey, check out this game, especially if it's something they're into now. Like Jesse was saying, hey, you're into this game that's out now, like Kirby. Maybe go check out some of these past gems that you might enjoy.
Again, if you still have like a Wii floating around, there was a 20th anniversary Kirby collection that had like
Yes,
5 or 6 different games on it.
very true.
That could be a good starting point, and they can pick and choose which games they want to try.
Yes. Great question, Mecca, as usual. All right, Russ G, we got which of you would look forward to or is wanting a Metroid Dread themed Switch? Switch Lite or Switch Regular? I am so looking forward to something like that. I hope and pray that we get whatever it is. I hope it's not a light for me personally. If it's a light, great. I'm sure other people will buy it. I like having a Switch, a regular OG Switch, or the dockable Switch. So I'll be just fine with just Joy Cons if they come out with Metroid themed Switch Joy-Con ones. I'd get that. If they have a Pro controller, I'll get that. And of course, if they have a themed full on Switch, I will want that as well. like the Monster Hunter one. If they had the whole thing going on there, then yeah, I'm all in.
Yeah, I am waiting for the Pro. No matter what new Switch model comes out between then and now, I'm going to pass on them until the Pro is what I have my eye on next.
Yeah. I've been back and forth on that too. Like that's all I've been waiting for is the Pro, but I think Metroid Dread version or just a Metroid in general one. Of course, if it looks crappy, I probably won't get it. But if it looks sweet, I'm gonna be all over that. So I will get that, and if a Pro comes out, I'll have to figure that out when that time comes, I guess. I'm not gonna figure that out right now. But if there's a Metroid Dread one that comes out, I'm gonna be on top of that. If I had to guess for Marty and Justin, I think Justin's probably in the same boat as Jesse. Probably not gonna get a Metroid themed one. However, Marty might. I think he's probably closer to me on that because he's a 2D Metroid fan as well. I think he needs a new Switch too, as well. But he, who knows? He might also will be having to pull for a Pro and wait for that. So that's just my guess. But another great question. I like that one. Crimson Skidmark. Love that name. I heard Marty, that name before. I think that was
yeah, he's written in before, and Marty,
yeah,
he read that. He didn't start laughing right away, but it just sunk in about 2 seconds later. He died.
Yes. I think that's where I heard it, is when Marty read it. That's right. So, all right. I've been having a bad feeling about Skyward Sword HD concerning its control options. I'm afraid that the button controls will only be for the Switch Lite and in handheld mode with no Pro Controller support. My reasoning is that in both trailers, the one from months ago and the E3 trailer, they have gone out of their way to avoid specifically saying Pro Controller support or even show it in the visuals. They keep saying Joy-Con support for the classic motion controls and button controls so it can be played in handheld mode or the Switch Lite. Is this why we aren't getting Zelda Pro Controller? Why would Nintendo specifically exclude the Pro Controller in these trailers unless they are trying to hide the fact that it is not supported? They did it with Let's Go, Eevee, and Pikachu. Why not Zelda? If this is the case, I may be passing on this HD port. Not that the motion controls are all that bad in this game, but because the Joy-Con are really tiny and cramped for my 40-year-old adult hands with carpal tunnel and arthritis. Please discuss, and thanks for all that you do. Thanks, Crimson Skidmark, for your name and for the question. But that is some really good observations, actually. I haven't been looking that close at this in detail at this stuff as you have. How about you, Jesse? Have you noticed anything that sticks out like this?
I'm not sure. I hope that it has Pro Controller support, because Pro Controller is how I usually play games lately.
Yeah.
The only time I detach the Joy-Con and use them separately is when the Pro Controller is dead.
Right.
Though, then I was thinking about it, a while back when people were talking about HD Rumble, and I'm like, they're like, well, they haven't done anything good with HD Rumble in a while, and I'm like, well, the way I've been playing games, if they did, I would not know. So,
yeah,
because I have only been using the Pro Controller.
Yep, and actually, there's in regards to the Rumble. The HD Rumble, my Joy-Cons, we found out because my son and I were trying to play 1-2 Switch, and it needs Rumble for that.
Yeah.
And we were trying to play, and he kept telling me, it like in certain games, it was like, this is not doing anything, and it's like, you just can't feel anything. What's wrong with your hands or whatever? And then we switched Joy-Cons, and I found out that.
So the Rumble's dead on those controllers?
On the right one, the Rumble's dead on this one. So I haven't been using it to full its advantage in some of the games.
That makes it hard to count the ice cubes on the ball.
Yes, it does. Or the ball one, yeah. But I was going to show this. Well, they won't be able to see it on the podcast. But if you're watching, if you go back to YouTube and watch, at this point, I have the Butter Fox grips that you can put on your Joy-Cons. this is in regards to Crimson Skidmark's comment about how he can't use, the Joy-Cons because of how tiny they are. I have these grips on mine, and they can come off when I've got these on the Switch. I can easily
Were
pop
these the
them off.
ones that were
and pop
3D
them on.
printed, or is these a different set?
No, these are a different set. The
Okay.
3D printed ones are for when you're playing, one-on-one games. This is for when I have them on my Switch. They actually give a little grip to the Joy-Cons.
Okay, so it's still gripped in handheld mode.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
got it.
Yep. And I can, when I have them on my Switch, it gives some, handles for me to hold on to and actually a little bit bigger buttons for the shoulder buttons as well. So they've come really in really good handy for me, especially when I was playing Asphalt 9 a lot, the racing game, because for whatever reason, the Joy-Con shoulder buttons were not good for gas buttons and stuff like that. But these gave it a little bit bigger range to that. But again, the handles is what I was trying to point out for that person's hands, in case they wanted to try that. But in any regard, back to what this person was saying, his or hers, I don't, cause could be either or. I didn't catch whether or not, but it doesn't matter. Their question in regards to those things they've pointed out, I think is very observational of them, if that makes sense, because that's something I was not even paying attention to. I know that they have the ability to play in handheld without the, previous waggle from the Wii days, but I hope there is Pro Controller support, because this is the other thing I have is the Pro Fusion wireless controller, and I love using this thing when I'm playing at my desk. This does not have HD. So again, I'm not missing the HD in some of the games I've been playing. But I still would like to have the options. I would prefer Nintendo give options rather than just cut out the options. So I'm hoping as well that that's the same. All right, questions?
I guess we'll find out when we start hearing reviews on the game whether it's supported or not. Yes,
very true. And we're only at the beginning of July too, and this comes out the end of July, right? The 26th. So who knows? Maybe midway through the month we'll get some sort of announcement or more details.
Is it the 23rd? Because it would be a Friday. It'd be 23rd or 30th, right?
Okay. Yep. Somewhere around there.
I'll bring up my release notes and
in
a few minutes.
Yep. So I think even still, if it's the 23rd, I think we still got some time to where we'll get some more details in regards to what's going on.
It is the 16th.
Oh, the 16th. Okay.
So 2 weeks.
Maybe after the 4th of July, we'll hear something.
Well, I would expect review embargo will probably be 13th or 14th.
Yes. Okay. Yep. So, and we don't usually get any kind of code for anything until the day it's released, unless we're lucky. There's been 2 times that I can count that we got it a couple weeks before, to be able to get our hands on it and play it before release. But we don't get those too often. But yeah, if we do, we'll let you certainly know. All right. So with that, we've got another a couple questions from Mecca while we were in chat. I captured real quick. One was that what games did you dads get from any Steam summer sales? So I have not bought any games from Steam.
Neither did I.
So I know they had their summer sale, but I try to keep my gameplay focused on the Switch and PlayStation, although now with Game Pass, I've opened it up to that. So, but I'm trying not to add more gaming areas all over the internet, but sometimes I can't help it. So, especially because I did see one of the games I do have on my wish list is Afterburner. I forget which version it is. Not Afterburner. Ace Combat. One of the Ace Combat games has been constantly on sale, and they're always tempting me with that sale. So, but I'm not doing it right now. So, but no, yeah, I didn't buy anything on there. And then the other question he had during the chat was, what mics are you using during the live streams?
I have an Audio Technica mic. I don't know the model number, but I can, look at my Amazon purchase history to find it. But I don't think this model is available anymore. It was like a $150, $200 mic.
I am also using a mic that's no longer being made. It's the blue Nessie. So it's the all-in-one one here where it's got the bass and all that kind of stuff. And it's been working great. I've had it for years. I actually bought this before I started podcasting for doing voiceover for a lot of training videos and training courses that I built. So, and then it evolved to being a podcasting mic. So, but yeah, it's there's one I'm actually looking at that it is a $200 mic though. It's from EPOS, the same company that made the Switch earbuds that I did a review of. They have a $200 mic that I was eyeballing. So still eyeballing it, but maybe for Christmas or something. If I get some Christmas money, maybe by that time. And I know Justin just got a new mic, the Wave 3. And I think Sean has that one too, from the Xbox Drive. The Elgato Wave 3.
That's Elgato, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They have those and they speak highly of those. And I can't remember what Marty has. I think he has a blue mic, the Yeti, but I'm not 100% sure. But yes, so I'm sure he will correct me in the actually himself. So
yeah. I don't know what my son has. I think his mic actually sounds better than mine.
Yes. Oh, was his the Hydra or the
I don't know, it had like lights on the mic, and
yeah,
tap the top and it would mute the mic, and you see that by the lights dimming.
I think I've seen him use that one during one of our events that we did a stream of, and he had it, and I think it's the one that starts with an H, and I don't remember the brand name. They do headphones as well. So but yeah, just I would say ask that question in the chat, Mecca, as well, in the Discord, asking everybody's mics, and I'm sure they'll come up because there's a lot of us in there that are using mics now. So I'm sure there'll be people happy to share that. All right, last question coming from Discord, and I apologize if I missed anybody else's, but this is the one I grabbed from before. This is from Nintendo Daddy Casey from the Underpowered podcast. He asked, what we talked about this at Underpowered, but with the dog-based dog meat passing away, did I say dog-based? But with the dog-based game,
well, dog meat was based on a dog.
Yes,
that dog passed away.
Yes, dog meat. Yes, dog meat was a game dog, but the dog that was based on that passed away. The real life dog passed away. Who are the best video game dogs? And Solo Something came back with immediate popping into my head is my boy Rush, debuted in Mega Man 3. Zablanc said Mushroom in the game Life is Strange. Jesse, do you have any?
I can't think of any off the top of my head. I don't play games that have dogs very often.
I have, but I have a terrible memory. So I had to do some research and look up some things. And I found a really good list on, of all places, EsquireMagazine.com. Found the best 15 dogs to ever bless video games. And this was published actually a couple of years ago, so it might be excluding any other dogs that came out over the last 2 years. But number 15, I'll start in Mother 3. So Sam, if you're on still, this will get you, I'm sure.
I have one.
Is Boney. Boney from Mother 3. Before I go down the list, Jesse, what's yours?
Koromaru from Persona 3.
Okay. Gotcha. Yep. The one I was reminded of that we'll get to on this list, I'll leave it on the list, but I'll get to that. So number 14 is Shiba Inu from Silent Hill 2. I don't know if anybody's played that game. I have not, so I don't know about that one. Then there's Pa Rappa from Pa Rappa the Rappa.
Yeah.
PlayStation game. Bill Gray, the Star Fox 64 dog. So that one was called out. And of course, Dog Meat was number 11 on the list. And then the one I thought of that I found that was on the list is Polterpup in Luigi's Mansion.
I found a different list that I'm kind of going through. I'm like, okay, I'll say that. I'll say that one. I'll say that one.
Then there was number 9, Undo Dog for Super Mario Maker. Then number 8 is D-Dog, Metal Gear 5. And then number 6, we got Isabelle and KK Slider in Animal Crossing. The Greater Dog in Undertale, number 5. The Dog Hunt Dog. The Dog Hunt. Duck Hunt Dog.
Duck
Excuse
Hunt
me.
Dog.
Yeah. Yes. And then, of course, Rush. And then Pokemon, of course, has Growlithe. Angelo in Final Fantasy VIII. And then number 1 is the Golden Retriever in Nintendogs. They picked a specific dog. Totally excluding all the other dogs in Nintendogs, but they picked Golden Retriever.
I won't. Yeah, I found a wiki of a bunch of dogs from games. I won't say all of them, but Ghost Trick Missile.
Oh, okay, yes.
That was a major character in that game. See, they did say Koromaru. They did say Duck Hunt Dog. I think there was one more up here. Oh yeah, Dribble from WarioWare.
Okay.
Yeah. And Interceptor from Final Fantasy VI.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't mention that one.
I forgot about that one. It's been a while. So the last time I played Final Fantasy VI is when we did the Retro Rewind on it. And I was like the only one of the hosts who played it and had to bring in the Nintendo directors to do that show with me.
Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. So, all right. Well, I apologize. I didn't have any that came to mind other than Polterpup, but I felt that the list would help. If you guys have any of your favorite dogs in a game, by all means, we want to hear about it in the chat, in either in the video chat or in our Discord or on Twitter. If you want to bring it up there, we're there too, of course. So I would love to hear about those or any of the topics we talked about here tonight. So with that, anything else you want to add, Jesse, before we close it out?
I think we're good.
Well, then we'll go ahead and close it out, and I'll try my best to close it out the way Marty and Justin do. So YouTube, we have what, 5,500 subscribers. I don't know if that number's changed or getting closer to 6,000, but thank you to all our YouTube subscribers for subscribing and please spread the news, get some more, help us get to that 6,000 range. That would be awesome. And of course, thanks.
We're at 5,600 now. I just looked.
5,600. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. So we're getting closer to 6,000. That's going to be awesome once we hit that. And on Twitch, we have over 1,000. Actually, it looks like we got 1,070 followers now. It looks like, I'm just looking right now. So thank you again to all our Twitch followers. And then we've got 22 Twitch subscribers as well. And don't forget, if you subscribe to Twitch, you also have access to the same Discord as if you were a Patreon subscriber.
It'll be 23 as soon as I resubscribe, because I apparently let that fall off last week when I wasn't on, when we didn't podcast last week.
Uh-oh, Jesse slacking. Get your Twitch Prime. If you got Prime, Amazon Prime, you can use your Prime free subscription if you don't mind. You can use that for us as well. So, and it'll get you your Discord access as well. So, and you can get all kinds of access to Retro Rewind votes, access to the other family podcasts, which would be the Dad's After Dark, the Game Pass News, Game Pass News, and Dinner Table, and then the Dad Crossing one every now and then. And then what am I missing? Am I missing something here?
Your show?
I said Dinner Table.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So, and of course, dinner table is once a month, and you'd have access to join that as well. So, but anyways,
and then with Monthly Mayhem, you have until
Yes.
the 3rd to sign up for it. Playing Mario Golf.
you got the Mario Golf sign-ups are still open until the 3rd, and there are prizes, $150 worth of prizes for playing in that, and it's asynchronous if I remember correctly. So we're not actually going to be all playing at the same time. There's quite a few people. If I remember, there's up to 30 people playing. So it's going to be a blast to watch everybody playing this. Check out our merch store via tpublic.com. You can get to Nintendo Dad's store as well. And you can, of course, get to all of our social medias and our merch store through our nintendodads.org website. Huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Chris Mayers, David Ernsberger, and I don't say you guys' names enough, so I apologize if I'm messing up on your names, especially Antonio. I'm not even going to do your last name because I always mess up that last name. Antonio Contranio. See, I always mess it up because my tongue gets tied there in the Neo part. Christopher Waring and Solo Something. Thanks again to those Patreon producers for what they provide, and also to all of our Patreon producers, every one of you. Check out our website again, nintendodads.org, for our latest YouTube videos, tweets, and podcast episodes, links to all our social medias and our Patreon page. Nintendo Dad shop for merch, as well as Extra Life. We have the 2021 link up already there. So if you want to join our team, you can go there and join our team. Or if you feel like donating early, you can donate early. So we have all those links there via nintendodads.org. Or you can find us in most places like Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube by typing Nintendo Dads. Or you can email us at nintendodads@gmail.com. Or if you want to leave a voicemail like Justin did for Manscaping, call in and leave a voicemail. 929-25-NDADS or 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the usual music that we have in our show. But today we have a Doki Doki Literature Club plus music.
Thanks Dan Salvato.
Yes. Thanks for for that creator for that. Download from your favorite podcast app of choice, like our Castbox, where we usually do it from, an iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, or Spotify, or Google Podcast now. Of course, if you're on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, please leave us a 5-star rating. And as Justin likes to say, if you're going to leave anything less, you can go leave that less to the Mega Dads. We'll take only 5 stars. They can have the rest. With that, this is Tim and Jesse signing off. Check you later.
Bye.
Bye. Breakdown.
Thank you for listening into Nintendo Dads.